So don't look at it.
Yeah, don't look.
I said I know I did wrong.
It's very colorful. Just not enough hours.
It's a different arts and crafts project. You guys all know.
Yes, that is a good arts and crafts. You just wait, you wait for Carter's go ahead, because he's gotta start the meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
No, I
We don't have to do that.
don't know, ask your new chair.
Happy. Probably.
Okay. So I guess we're ready to call this meeting to order. Not at 6 o'clock. So with that, the first thing we have is roll call. Kevin Wyckoff, Chair.
Jim Keel, Vice Chair.
Barry Montgomery.
Ed on.
Dave Shipley. Okay. Then I've asked Jim to say the land acknowledgement.
We, the city of Lacey, are on the ancestral land of the tribal people, the Treaty of Medicine Creek, including the Nisqually Indian tribe and the Squaxin Island tribe. We acknowledge and remember those tribal people not recognized today who were absorbed, relocated to other tribes for survival. We recognize the ancestors and their descendants who are still here. We recognize and respect the tribal people of the Treaty of Medicine Creek as the traditional stewards of this land since time immemorial, and their role today in taking care of these lands in perpetuity. We recognize and have the responsibility to call attention to the histories of dispossession, forced removal, and abridged treaty rights that have allowed our nation, state, and city to develop as they have today. We recommend that community members read the Medicine Creek Treaty of 1854.
Thank you, Jim. Next thing on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any changes or anything to that? Otherwise, I take up a motion to approve.
I would move to approve the agenda.
Second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
And then back on to the minutes.
Chair, we do need to say motion.
Oh, sorry. Motion passed.
Yeah, motion.
And so next we go to the meeting minutes for the December 17th meeting. Folks had a chance to take a look at those. Accept a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I will so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Feel free to ask any opposed.
Any opposed? Okay. Do we have any public comment? No public comment. Okay. With that, we have our business items for tonight. First off, Bowker House Special Evaluation Agreement, 10-year monitoring. We have Erin explain that.
Thank you. My screen is being weird. Hang on a second. Everything's in the way. I can't make it bigger. Hold on. Oh. There we go. Okay.
We're waiting with bated breath. You're sharing the notes.
The notes?
Yeah, our notes.
No. No, that's not what I'm sharing.
It does say Bowker House. That's good.
How about now?
Staff report?
Yay.
And just, yeah, there we go.
Okay. Dang it. And my notes in my hand just went away just a second. I am just on fire tonight, you guys.
Okay, just get situated.
Kevin's got all the fire tonight. All right, so in your packets and on the screen, you will see um, the staff report that we sent to City Council for the Bowker House special valuation application. And as I'm sure you are all aware by now, City Council approved the application, and I submitted the certification documents on their behalf to the county, and we received the official recorded documents yesterday. So this is the staff report that we sent to City Council. It's very similar to the one that we sent you guys, but we wanted you to have the opportunity to see that. And then the signed agreement was also in the packet, and so this is important because there's the section in here that applies to you is this one that says the applicants agree that the property shall not be altered without the prior written consent of the Lacey Historical Commission and advisory board of the city, etc., etc. So basically it means that the commission has to approve any alterations to the property, and it's a very similar process to design review, except that it's more stringent because they're getting a tax break. The requirements are more strict. But and then section 5 outlines the monitoring period. The applicants are supposed to monitor their own property to make sure it continues to be qualified, and they're supposed to let the county know if it becomes disqualified. And although it's not explicit that it's our responsibility, to monitor it, we have to have the responsibility to determine whether it's been disqualified or not. And my understanding is that it's a pretty rare thing to have a property become disqualified. I did talk to Olympia to find out what they do, and really they just kind of are passive about it and wait to see if any permits are flagged, just very similar to design review. I'm going to propose that since this is something really new for us, and just so we don't lose track of it, that it goes on our work plan and that it's just once a year. We just sort of check in. I make sure the property's still owned by the same people and do a little drive by and let you guys kind of know that everything is copacetic. And if that's good with you guys, that's what I think we should do.
There was a situation in Olympia where they did have a house that you could not see from the street, you could not see the marker, and it was in poor shape. I don't know the status of that house, but because it's several decades ago when I was on the Olympia Heritage Commission, so it can happen, and I'm not sure if they took it off to register or not.
Interesting, because it was
And
Olympia who I talked to about it.
I was
But
going to also ask about how often should the house be looked at, and I think 1 year would be a good starting point. At least every biannual, I think would be a possibility too, but it needs to be. It's supposed to keep it nice and neat, but we don't know about it unless you take a look at it.
yeah, for sure.
So
Also,
do
there.
you need an emotion?
No, just I think just a consensus of guidance that if we did, a review later on in the year,
That go, maybe since we did the initial approval in November, put that for November of 26.
yeah. Or maybe make it a little earlier so that it's not so cold and dreary if I need to take pictures or anything.
On whose calendar does that date go on to remind us that we need to do it?
It would be mine.
Excellent.
The tone in her voice.
Wonderful person.
It
It's
would
also
be
on your work plan.
me. Womp womp.
It's also on your
Um,
work plan, and we do staff stays pretty close to that, you know,
Okay.
as we're prepping for the meetings, so that's another way to get reminded.
Yeah, and we usually do a more thorough check of the work plan about halfway through the year, so that would be a good time to make sure it's on calendars. I also want to point you to this section here where it says applicants agree to make historic aspects of the property accessible to the public 1 day a year if the property is not visible from a public right of way. Krista was very concerned about this clause. It's a requirement of the state, so it wasn't something I could change. But I just told her, if you don't want to have the public come visiting, just make sure we can see your house from the street. That's it. Because she has added some foliage, but it's not blocking anything. You can still see it. So I think as long as that's the way it is, then it's fine.
Does the city have a plaque that a property owner could put on their property?
So that is, I believe we put that on the work plan too, didn't we, Jen?
I believe we did.
So the Bowker house, it kind of got overlooked because the previous property owners didn't want a plaque. And so I didn't realize that it didn't have a plaque or that they wanted a plaque. So yeah, she has asked for one, and so I started looking into how much those cost. So yes, long answer for the answer is yes.
Does the property owner pay for it or does the city?
The city does for now.
Because some
Right.
cities can have the plaque, but they don't pay for it. It's up to the property owner.
Yes, I'm aware of that, and actually, as I was looking at how much we paid last time, which was over a decade ago, I'm a little worried about how much this is going to come in at. So I've got a request for a quote out, so we'll see kind of what we're looking at.
And who determines the location of the marker?
The property owner, so they can either have one that affixes to their house or one that's on a post. And she would I think she said she wanted one on a post. Her biggest concern was that it match her fixtures, but I told her this was the color. Luckily, it matches her house. Yay!
The property owner also needs to realize that the marker should be accessible, I would think, I don't know about this city, should be accessible to the public. In some places, they put it on their porch, which means if it cannot be read from the sidewalk, public sidewalk, there's a conflict.
Need to be like wheelchair accessible on the porch.
No, it's a case of if you can't read it from the street, then they're gonna go to the porch in order to read it. And
We don't have anything in our policy about that, but I feel like you have a very good point if we're paying for it, that it should be visible to the public.
Because the city is paying, if the city is paying for it, then the public should have access to see what says on the marker. Now, if it's a generic one, it simply says this is a house registered, the National Register, those kind of signs never say anything about the house. But I assume the city one will talk about the history of the house or the
It's
architecture
very
of the house.
brief, very, very brief, but yes. I can show you an example of what they look like if you want.
Sure.
Let me.
I'm all for it.
Huh?
I would like to see one, if not tonight, another time.
I can pull it up real quick. Okay.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
So the only thing that we have to do differently, so our logo has changed, and branding won't allow this weird notch out of the logo. So we're either going to have to go square or make this part bigger.
I can see the problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, my preference would be to go square, but I don't know if it's more because there's more metal or less because it's custom. So, I don't know. I will find out.
Maybe the artistic part could go below that one blank space toward the top there, if not in the upper. I didn't catch what's in the upper left-hand corner, but I can see a problem with the protrusion on the top.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any
Okay.
questions for
Any
Eric?
questions? Okay, well, with that, we're gonna move on to the next item, which is Jacob Smith House nomination form. Mayor.
So, the detailed observer would have noticed that we changed the staff report. Our original plan was to ask for a vote on the nomination of the Jacob Smith House. I don't know what is going on right now, but we're getting all of these things that I have never done before, even though I've been here a long time. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants, trying to make sure we're doing stuff the right way. So I sort of had thought that it was kind of like the design review process as far as public notification, but when I took a close look at the ordinance, I realized that there was some additional public notice. And so after consulting with the city clerk's office, we determined that we can't proceed tonight without some further action to make sure that we are doing our public notice properly. So I turned this into, instead of an actionable item, into a briefing. The recommendation is that after appropriate public notice, we will recommend to City Council that the Jacob Smith House be added to the Lacey Register of Historic Places. We went ahead and left all the attachments with it. So you have all the information that I plan on putting with the nomination itself. So I'm going to go through the staff report here. This gives you the broad strokes of what we're talking about. And then what I'm looking for you guys tonight is any questions or any further information that you feel like you need so that come March, that we can make a decision on this property. So to provide some context why we're doing this, the Jacob Smith House is the oldest house in Lacey, and there's been common knowledge that this was already on the register. But as we found out through research, what?
Continue.
On January 28th of 1988, Lacey City Council recommended that the Jacob Smith House be added to the National Register of Historic Places. The national nomination was not successful, but as often happens with National Register nominations, it was at that time added to the Washington Heritage Register. So it's been on the state register since 1988. Meeting minutes for the commission suggest that the Lacey Historical Commission intended to add the Jacob Smith House to the local register. It was mentioned many times, but over the years there was confusion as time went on about whether it was on the local register or not. And at some point it was added to the official list of local properties, even though City Council has never taken action to officially add it to the register. Believe me when I tell you, I have looked through all of them. All of them. So that's kind of why we're here. And then let's move on to why this property is important. So the Jacob Smith house is the oldest house in Lacey, and it's one of the oldest in Thurston County as well. It's a significant example of the type of architecture that was built by pioneer settlers in the region, and it's one of the few still standing examples of its style. The property retains good integrity of form and setting, being on a large lot, and it clearly conveys the character of pioneer homesteads of the era and has a really cool kind of Greek revival feel to it. The house sits on a rise with a full view of what was once Chambers Prairie, and Mount Rainier is in the distance. The surrounding property and adjacent parcel there in that small area remain undeveloped. And the site itself was once part of an Indian trail and may yield archaeological information related to indigenous people. Projectile points, as one example, have been found on the site. And there is a full detailed history of the property and architectural description on the nomination form. I'm not going to go through all of that, but I do recommend that you go through it on your own. I tried to be very thorough because this is the document, the nomination form is the document that will be used from here forward for all of the historical commissions into the future to determine design reviews. And as those of you who have been through design reviews know, that nomination form is where we get our information on how to make our decisions. So it's important to make sure it's right. Besides taking information from our own consultant and my own research, I also had the state architectural historian review it because since my area of expertise is not in architecture, I wanted to make sure to get that part right. And then a little bit of information about the public notice that we have to do. We have to do a newspaper notification, legal notice type of thing in a newspaper of general circulation in Lacey, i.e. the Olympian, and it has to be physically posted on the property. Our ordinance doesn't give a lot of specific information about what these things mean. So I'm working with the city clerk's office to make sure that we're doing it right, that adequate notice. I don't know how long that means, so hopefully they can help me figure that out. And then once the historical commission makes its recommendation to city council, then before we go to council, we have to notify the public, the property owner, and the authors of the nomination and lessees of the listing. And yes, I did check. We do have to do this even though we own the property and we were the author. So I'll send you a letter. And then we have to get a signed statement from the party owner of record of their willingness to have the property listed. I also need to find out who's supposed to sign that. I'm guessing Rick Walk, but I don't know. It's really kind of feels convoluted and weird, but we have to treat ourselves the same way that we would treat everyone else. So anyway, that is pretty much what I was going to share with you tonight, and then take questions or go through anything that you want to go through.
I guess my question is, because it wasn't approved for the National Register 38 years ago, would that be something that'd be worth looking at now?
I mean, it's certainly possible, although the criteria hasn't changed. So I tend to think that it probably wouldn't make it, but I can certainly look into it if it's something you would like to do.
It would be interesting to find out why the rejection was made. And it'd probably refer to some type of integrity or something like that to be on the National Register, but it would be interesting to find out. What criteria was used to reject it?
I have the letter, so I don't know that it said very much, but I think it was more about it not being, strictly speaking, relevant, not relevant, but um,
Did it have
important
something to do with
to,
vinyl windows or something?
huh? No,
Did it
no,
have something to do with vinyl windows?
no. This was before it was even renovated, so it was more intact then than it is now.
Okay.
I think it was about its relevance to national history, but I'll take a look and see. And just for your information, there is one property in Lacey that is on the National Register, and that is the Ruddle Pioneer Cemetery.
What?
The Ruddle Pioneer Cemetery is on the National Register.
Cemetery? Is it Redell Cemetery?
Riddle.
Aaron, could you clarify for me, tonight you gave us a lot of information on the property.
Yeah.
And do you want us to have any action tonight, or is that to be in March because you need to make public notification?
Yeah, I wanted to have action tonight, but we cannot do it because we need to do public notice. And I also need to determine whether we have to have a hearing or not. Our ordinance doesn't specifically say, but our reference manual, that is our procedures, say we do. And so I also need to consult with the city clerk about that so that we follow the right procedure at the meeting.
The house is very similar to what used to be on now state property down by Grand Mound Prairie. It's called the Miller Brewer House that burnt down, I don't know, late 1990s, I believe. But the construction and the porch and what have you is very much similar.
Mm. Yeah, the porch, I wish we knew when it was added, but so these are pictures from the 1890s, and then these pictures in the 1940s. It's there, but
Yeah, it's
we
very
don't know.
clear they added to cover the 4 windows rather than just the front door.
Yeah.
What about the breezeway? When was that added?
So
Pitch
the
garage.
breezeway is modern. So in 1954, the property was purchased by Robert Woleb, the son and architectural partner of his father, famous architect Joseph Woleb, and they used it as a summer house. And so here's a picture of it in the 80s. But a lot of this was gone when it was renovated in the 90s. So the garage was reconstructed. I think the water tower was too, because there had just been so much damage to the property.
And you don't have a photo earlier than 1980
I
or
have
1890, I should say. Is
nope,
that the earliest one you have is 1890?
yeah, and it's circa 1890. It was probably built about 1890, so this is probably pretty close to when it was built. But yeah, we have our photos are pretty limited on it, which is sad. Lots of pictures of the reconstruction, but not a lot of historic photos.
I'm a little confused. It says on the brief that house was built in 1859.
Oh, you're right. Nope, you're right. I'm remembering poorly off the top of my head.
Okay.
I got the 9. You're correct.
The reason why I can remember 1859 because the Bigelow House was built in the early 1850s. And I think it's 1852 or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
So tonight, mostly informational.
Yep.
Can we make a decision on whether to put it on the register or not in March, correct?
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, and we just need to know if there's any other questions or other information needed outside of what we've provided here, because it's gonna be a very similar packet when it comes back to you.
Yeah.
If
So
there's anything
now's
we
the
need to add.
time to tell me if you need more than this.
They'll be done with the roof then too, won't they, or are they now?
That's a whole other thing, isn't it?
What's that?
The roof?
Yeah, so I do have a report in my director's report on that.
Is it over? Is it built?
It's not quite finished, but they're working on it.
2 years, 3 years.
So, do any more questions on that? I think, I mean, having gone through the packet of with the application, there's a lot there, so.
There is. I mean, I know that the nomination form is detailed and extensive, but I would appreciate everybody reading it and making sure that everything makes sense, and there aren't any mistakes, because I want to correct those if there are any.
I would like to say, say thank you to, sorry, I don't know what that noise was.
Oh, is that what?
It's my cat meowing.
Well, it's, never mind.
He's a Maine Coon and he is very vocal.
Didn't sound like a cat to me. Sounds like something like a wind-up prayer. Anyway,
Does the feline have any questions?
Meow.
Okay, got it.
I just wanted to thank Erin for a tremendous amount of work that's gone into this. So thank you for putting this all together.
Aaron, the question I would have is that you can tell the difference between the original house and the garage. And so sometimes the issue might be, as far as qualifications is concerned, is the breezeway. And if it can be clearly seen that the house is 1859 and compared to a metal garage door and what have you, and that would be the only conflict I think you're going to see anybody would question about, is the breezeway connecting to the garage and the tower. And that's what I was looking for in your pictures. Where does the tower come in at? Is that a more recent addition, or is that original to the property?
So the water tower, let me look at it. It's in the list here. Make sure I'm saying the right thing, because last time I said the thing off the top of my head, I was wrong. Okay. Alterations. Okay.
My criteria usually is when I look at a piece of property is that can the original owner recognize his house that's built 150 years ago or whatever the numbers may be? And in this case, yes, he can. And he can clearly see two additions to it.
So the water tower was another one of the things that happened between the 1890 photo and the 1940s.
Gotcha.
So we don't know exactly when it was built, but the one that you currently see is not the original. It was reconstructed to match as well as it could.
Probably at least 80 years old.
Well, sounds like it's 50 years old as far as design is concerned.
Oh yeah, the design for sure.
That's all we need. Yeah.
But the reconstruction is from the mid-90s. So there is on the nomination form a section called alterations, and it lists all the changes that were made within a time period that we know of.
Thought there was, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah. And then the section called character defining elements, that's the section that would be the most important during design review, because it lists the architectural features that would have to be reviewed to make sure that they're retained and follow the Secretary of the Interior standards for renovation. Did you want me to pull it up again, or are we good?
Thank you.
Okay.
As in last month, Erin's gonna peel off after this agenda item. due to the tremendous amount of documenting and packing that she's been doing to get all of her stuff and all the files over to the new research center.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, on to approval of the Historic Commission work plan, so.
So let me pull this up. I had it up briefly earlier. It's also in your packet. And so, as you know, you've already approved the 2026 work plan. We just did that. But I'm looking for approval of an update. And that is because after the Historical Commission had approved the work plan, you were all asked by the city manager's office to review an upcoming, it's a new city council public art and monuments policy. The Commission on Equity and also the Parks, Culture, and Recreation Board are being asked to review the policy once that draft becomes available. And so you can see the update here in red under policies and procedures on your work plan is the City Council Public Art and Monuments Policy Review. So I don't have any more information at this time about that policy, but a representative from city manager's office will come and present that draft once they have it ready. And
So basically,
you know,
it's
good timing because you haven't gone to council with the work plan yet, so we can kind of
okay, so
get it on there.
the monuments policy, it's something that's being worked on right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, I figured it was significant enough, it's work that you'll do, so might as well get it on that work plan. And the other thing, Chair Wyckoff pointed out is to update the wording here, just remove vice from line 12 and line 27. So I was a good eye on that one, and we will, that'll be part of the amendment we'll make once you, if and when you approve as amended.
Okay, what was that? So whereabouts it?
He had just noticed that
Oh, and number
it says
12.
Vice Chair Wyckoff. Yep, so it should
Okay.
just say Chair Wyckoff now that that's updated for the commission. 12 and line 27 as well.
So you
So we'll
what?
do that as a part of this update. We will,
Okay,
in case you see it later and go, uh-oh.
so you're seeking an approval of the work plan with two changes in it.
Yes. I'm
One in red and one removing the word vice from the poor guy's name.
Yeah, I'm looking for
So
approval,
we need a
approval and
motion.
updated,
Motion for that?
updated work plan, yes.
Okay, also move.
Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
And then with that, I'd like to invite the Lacey Historical Society to give their report.
would you prefer me off camera or on?
That is up to you.
We like on.
You look great on television. You look great, so be on camera.
I'm wearing glasses, I can tell. And good evening to you all. My name is John Jacix. I'm Secretary of the Lacey Historical Commission. And I'm here to report that we had a very successful year. We just, in fact, some of you might have received an email from me thanking you for your contributions and memberships for IRS purposes. I've been working on that for this last week, but we have nearly 150 dues paying members, which is significantly an increase from just 2-3 years ago when we were about 75 to 80. And it shows that actually there is an interest amongst the citizens of Lacey in the history of our city. We have recently expanded our board from 12 to up to 15 members, and there are currently 3 vacancies that we are actively soliciting members to join with us. And that's a big difference from 2023, when we had 4 of the 12 members of the board of directors remaining, 2 of which were leaving the state. And they were considering dissolution, but through an appeal, we came back and have been working on getting the word out through basically our, I guess it's called the legacy communication mechanism. We have a printed newsletter, which we, I hope, distribute electronically to the commissioners. I don't know if I've got the 2 new members on the mailing list yet, but if not, I'll correct that shortcoming. We also have I do have to admit, it's a rather rudimentary website that we're constructing and focusing on again this year as a means of communicating with the public, including hopefully people who are a little bit younger than even Jen around this table. Our biggest project right now is with respect to Dr. William Ehlers, who was the early doctor in the 50s here in Lacey. He also was a leading business person, sitting on the board of South Sound National Bank, which ultimately was purchased by Bank of America in the building down here on South Sound property. He was also active, obviously, at St. Peter's and was head of the medical staff there, and also on the Capital Development Company board. We are looking to construct a life-size statue of him. Life size for him was 5'2", and we're going to put him on a little bit of a pedestal, we hope. We have yet to go out for fundraising, but we hope to do that later on this year. We are actively, and I appreciate the invitation from the city manager and the assistant city manager to work on the public art and monument policy, which I think we might have been somewhat the cause of the interest currently, because our interest is to place the monument inside the community center, primarily for vandalism protection and ease of maintaining. We've chosen a bronze statue. I guess we've felt pretty good that they just made a bronze statue of Sue Bird, so it's not passe. Although there are some who wonder about whether that's the right way to go. We do think it is. It's a permanent type of thing, although we recognize that the city can choose whether or not to keep it where it is. We were hoping to have some sort of long-term type of relationship there. And we've already been talking with Shannon Kelly Fong about the progress, and looking forward to continuing on that. Last thing I'll share with you is we're looking forward to a big anniversary party instead of a annual membership meeting. We've had 3 under our belt this last 3 years, and they've all been called membership board meet or membership meetings. And most people are averse to meetings. I don't know about you guys, but we've tried to put on some interesting programs, South Sound Center and the history of some of our mayors. But the idea we're looking at now is to partner with the 250th anniversary of the country and the 60th anniversary of the city in some way to have more people come and gather for that event. So we've started the reaching out for partners of any stripe to work with us on that. With that, thank you for the time, and we do appreciate that you have us on your agenda so we can keep you informed and we can hear what you're doing too. I do want to say, I do believe there was an Aaron, oh, excuse me, I forgot to mention, working with Erin, I don't see her picture on the thing here. She's been helping me a great deal. In our newsletter, we're working on a story on the Lacey leader and criticizing it for its nepotism because the sports writer for about half of its 13 years, from 67 to 80, was my older brother, my second older brother, and me. It's kind of a fun little story about how we got to do that. And then, like I said, Erin's been helping me go back and find all the old Lacey leaders, and God, I couldn't remember what I wrote about, but now now it's a little embarrassing. The other thing we're working on is a history of Panorama. It used to be called Panorama City. It also used to be called, rather disparagingly from my high school days, I was kind of a snot, called Panic City, but I learned that indeed that might have been that name because oftentimes the firefighters who would respond to panic at the residence there used to call it, or I think, Panic City. I haven't been able to formally confirm that, but it seemed to make a good story. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful too much, but that's what we're up to. And thank you again. If I can answer any questions for any of you, I would be more than happy to. And with that, thank you so very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I don't think I'm on your,
You will be. Be careful what you ask for.
So with that,
as long as you don't have my social security number, we're good.
No, we didn't participate.
mother's maiden name,
What's that?
mother's maiden name, birthday, all those things. Kimberly's not here, but I can assume that the steps committee is on hiatus. And so with that, just kind of go around the room for commissioner reports. Jim, do you have anything to report?
I stopped in briefly, last week? Just to see the museum now they've got it open and see how staff were doing. And we had encountered a interesting community involvement / tourism kind of project that was done by some folks down in Oregon that I passed along to them to see if that might spur some ideas that they might want to play with. So anyway, I lent them the book that we had, and they seemed fairly excited about looking into it. It basically, it was a set of ways of having people kind of do their own self-guided tours, following their way through clues and things like that. And then in the case of Oregon, what they'd done is they had involved local associations, high schools, et cetera, in developing these tours and things. So it kind of reminded me of the scavenger hunt that we did earlier this year. And I thought, well, that might be fun. They might enjoy seeing what was done and see if there's something we might borrow. So that's what I got.
Gary?
Nothing, I guess, specific to report. The talk of the museum does remind me that I need to check in with Erin. It's a weird overlap of my job and this commission. I think I owe her some work.
Ed?
I really nothing to say.
Has nothing to do with the Lacey, but I gave a talk on Thurston County this afternoon at senior retirement place I was at.
Oh.
The small little theater was overwhelmingly full. No, I don't have from a Lacey standpoint. The museum is fantastic. I really enjoyed my trip through there, and I've been there, the group as well as later on. It's very nice.
What was your topic that you presented?
History of Thurston County by way of its historic signs. And the county has a lot of historic signs around the county. And I may have to do the talk here in one of your history talks. So that's something I might be doing.
Well, we know who you can talk to.
Who is that?
Erin.
I would love to set you up. As far as chair report, biggest thing I guess was, here with the start of the new year, getting going as chair, ended up having a conversation with Commissioner Talahi, and she's had some trouble attending, and so out of that, she submitted her resignation. So we're now looking for another member of the commission to join us here. And along with that, kind of trying to spread the word of that, knowing that Commissioner Keough and Commissioner Getz will be leaving us in September. So if that you don't get on here in the next month or two, then there'll be other opportunities. But that's kind of the biggest thing with that. And then from that, I guess we have the museum curators report.
Yes, I'll be giving Erin's report. So regarding history talks, the January history talk was very moving. Staff was excited to share about it the next day when I asked, how did everything go? It was called the Greatest Breakup Letter in US History. Art Dolan shared the history leading up to the Declaration of Independence. And then he and several others did a reading of the Declaration. And Erin reports, I know we've all read it, but there was something very special about hearing something so important to all of us when it was read out loud. And so she's highly recommends that you take a listen and watch that on YouTube.
I thought it was a very good presentation. I was on Zoom. The problem I have is you went away from the microphone and it always presents a problem. But
Oh.
he was hustled back to the microphone.
Oh, okay.
So
Good.
he heard.
Oh, good. In February, she reports we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be hosting an evening at the museum for our History Talk audience. It's by registration only, and we're going to keep it to a small number of people. We had noticed that we hadn't seen many of them during the preview tours, and thought it would be a good opportunity to get them, over to the new space. And they're special to us since many of them come month after month and are the core of our community support. The new museum, so this is the 6th Avenue space. Obviously, we ended up touring 95 people during the preview tours in December. We got great feedback from guests, and there was a nice article in Thurston Talk, if any of you saw that. We officially opened our doors January 15th, and although we didn't have quite as many people as we thought we might, we had a lot of off the street interest, which is one of the reasons we liked that space. Hoping to increase our foot traffic and kind of excitement about the museum.
So,
Oh,
I don't know what the name of the number of the street that it's on. But is there a sign at the location to indicate where it's located? If I was walking down the street or driving down the street, because I did not see one.
yeah, the 6th Ave location, the new location at Belton
Yeah.
Center.
I saw it on
Yeah.
Lighter Kenny, but I did not see it on the side street.
Yeah, so good question.
It's just on the windows.
It's,
It's strictly on the windows, I know.
yeah, it's on the windows. It's on Slater Kinney College. And it's on, and College, right, yeah, right by City Hall.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
okay, here I am
Yeah.
on College Street. I turn. Is there a sign on whatever that street is called? Is there a sign saying, here's the location?
They put an A board out, like a sandwich board when they're open. Now that the museum is officially open.
Okay. I was looking for a street sign rather than a sidewalk sign then.
So there isn't another street, they're just driveways, I guess.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is I saw it on Slater Kenny. I think I saw it on College Street.
Yep.
But if I was going down, whatever that street number is, 9th or
That's 6th.
6th or whatever it is,
Yeah.
if I was looking for the museum driving, I would not see a sandwich board. So I don't know if they need a sign or not, I don't know, to say, museum here or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a.
And
it's a
I know the
consider- to
cities get
consider
pretty
it.
uptight with
yeah.
too many signs on their streets, and I know there's regulations on that. Because Tumwater Historic Commission is dealing with that now with Tumwater. So anyway, I just was looking for a sign. What I guess I'm asking is if a person's out of state, out of city, would they be able to find the museum if they turned on 6th Street or whatever it is what I'm asking.
I think the hope was the window signs, like the welcome to Lacey, those historic photos would
Okay.
aid in that.
which may or may not be seen by the driver.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess kind of a difference between parallel to the road versus perpendicular to the road.
Yeah, and then the sandwich board, I don't think would be, an answer for what I'm looking for, I guess.
Aaron did mention they're looking at doing something that'll hang down from the front,
Okay,
similar to what the neighbor has.
that might help.
Yeah, I think that will help.
Okay,
Yeah, so a lot of off the street interest. So many people walking by are waiting for the bus. So there's a bus stop right there and we're obviously close to the transit center. Kind of popped in to see what was going on there, and the Jolt did a nice article about the opening too, so. That's the new museum, research center. So now, like I mentioned earlier, we're really turning our attention to transition of the Russell House into the Lacey Research Center. We've got Erin, so Erin's office will move from City Hall over to there. Her computer and printer are all set up finally. We're still waiting for a phone to get connected there because the museum number is now at the new museum space. And so we should have that soon. We're working on getting exhibit items put away and updating all the locations from everything that's been moved. The old resort room is in process of being transformed into a storage room, so that all the files from here can head that way. It is quite the undertaking. So
imagine.
yeah, and that's the museum curator report.
And then now, for Jen to change your hat to the director's report.
Changing my hat. Okay, so the first question I have is about the Bowker House. It looks like we had reached out to the owner to see when the commission could potentially come. And we're looking at Saturday, April 18th, and we wanted to see if commissioners might be available that day. I don't have a time yet.
Was that again?
April 18th.
I would have to check with my secretary at home,
Okay.
but
As with all things.
18th sounds like a possibility. And this is to tour the,
Tour of the Bowker
Bowker
House.
House.
Yeah, so if you wanna check your schedules, if we don't have answers now, we can reach out. And I think the earlier we get that on the books, the better, to make sure we have that date.
Currently, that's open.
afternoon or morning?
I think maybe noon.
Possibility,
Yeah, I'd have to check on the time.
okay.
It's not afternoon or evening, right? Know that.
What?
It's not. in
The house that just got
Right.
the property tax exemption.
Here's an email. Didn't get on the notes, but, okay, so Keo, you said likely, you're
Yeah.
checking?
That should be good.
Should be good. You're checking,
No, I'll be fine,
okay.
unless something comes up.
Or you're told you're wrong.
So, April 18th may as well be the next millennium, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty far away. All right, well, hopefully we can get that lined up, more information coming on that. The next item is the Jacob Smith House roof replacement. Many of you will recall, maybe not the new members, but that the roof is getting replaced with cedar roofing. And I'll share a picture. It's almost done. It's actually being worked on now. And it is looking really good.
Wow,
You can see this part is done and some of the garage is done. So, and the good news is that there wasn't any water damage, which means we didn't have any leaks, which means we did it in time to prevent any of that. So that's pretty exciting. So next time you go over there, you'll see a new roof. My next item is the February joint work session with City Council. I wanted to just share a little bit about this upcoming thing, this annual happening that we have. And just to remind you that there is no regular February meeting for you all on the third Wednesday. Instead, we will meet with council on February 24th. And so each year, council approves the work plans of the city's boards and commissions. They try to do this as early in the year as possible and definitely in the first quarter. The council also wants to review the board's accomplishments from the prior year and highlight and celebrate those accomplishments together. And so, as you know, you've already approved the accomplishments and the 2026 work plan. We just did another version tonight. So those the 24th,
24th.
February 24th.
Everywhere.
24.
Is this an inside joke?
Sometimes David doesn't know how to.
Oh,
I'll send an email to you to confirm that.
and then the regular meeting would have been on, let's see. You have a calendar?
Would have been the 25th.
No, it would have been a week before, so it'd been like the 18th.
Say it was 18,
Or 18th,
or February.
ready to confuse.
Okay. Yeah, no meeting on the 18th of February. Yes, meeting on the 24th. For February. And so this council work session starts at 6 o'clock. We don't know yet. They typically will do 2 or 3 boards all on the same night, and it's about 30 minutes each board. And so we don't know
We're first.
if we're first on the agenda or not yet. As soon as we find out, we will let you know. But we'll do a presentation and our chair and vice chair will help with that. So we'll have Jim do the accomplishments section since he was the chair last year, and we'll have Kevin cover the work plan for 2026. But this is, I've really found this to be a special night to where your efforts from the last year are acknowledged and celebrated by the council. It's an opportunity for them to ask questions, and yes, they can potentially make changes to your work plan. So that has happened before. So just kind of a heads up on that. But we do, of course, if that happens, we do articulate that something else will be delayed or won't happen as a result. But yeah, looking forward to that, and that'll be your next meeting. Any questions about that?
If I have any questions, I'll contact him.
Okay, and then my last item is the program updates. And so as you know, we do put the program updates for the whole department in here, and it's just kind of fun to kind of update you on what's going on outside of the historical commission and the museum. So Q4, I mean, we had a great year as all the way around for Parks, Culture, and Recreation. And just a few things I'll highlight. You can read the full program updates in your packet. But I'll just go through each program area quickly and
I have to admit,
Make
when
a
I was
highlight.
going through the packet, I got confused by, what is this here for?
yeah, so we're, and so you're a new commissioner, so you may not know this and
I might realize you have 3 hats and you keep switching right now, but I understand why it was there, but I was surprised when I first came across it.
yeah, and we're also doing the same thing with the Parks Board, with all the things happening with the Historical Commission.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's great to kind of educate back and forth, and as you know, some of the items come to both of you, both boards.
Yes.
So so in aquatics, I'll just highlight something interesting. We began supporting USA underwater hockey as they build a team in Lacey. Yes, I said underwater hockey. Interesting. In the special events world, we had wonderful fall and holiday events. They were popular and well attended. In community recreation, we kicked off the Lacey Teen Late Night programs in September with an event at Salish Middle School that had nearly 400 middle school students at. In the facilities and rentals arena, the community center and Jacob Smith House continue to be a preferred destination for families and offices to host holiday gatherings. Holiday season is very busy for us in both those facilities. The South Sound Community Orchestra, American Legion Band, and Olympia Chorus all host free concerts open to the public at the community center. So if you didn't know about that, now you know for next year. their annual events, and they continue to grow and bring holiday cheer to the community. The Regional Athletic Complex hosted 13 tournaments in Q4, including 3 Toys for Tots charity tournaments, 3 Halloween tournaments, and a USSSA state tournament. In youth and adult sports, Lacey Youth Basketball was underway and the most participation that we've ever had. Our front desk and customer service staff work really hard to, make sure and answer questions and help get people registered and many, many other things. But I'll highlight there that we successfully marked a full year without our traditional brochure, and no diminishing returns were seen as a result. So we've gone completely digital with that. We went from printing it and having a design brochure online to just having a design brochure online to now just having our registration system, which is updated live, and people are liking it. So kudos to Carter and his staff for working on that with the recreation staff. Museum. As you know everything museums, so I'll skip that one. Parks Planning and Development,
Gary,
Gary?
he hasn't been
Oh,
there yet, right?
well, my highlight is that the museum is open. I think Gary got the memo.
I work just down the street. I don't know
Oh,
if you know
okay.
that.
You have to sneak over there during lunch.
Parks Planning and Development, we have several projects currently in progress, including Great Cuyo Park, which we had hoped would be open by the end of 2025. It's been a little bit delayed. We're hoping March at this point, but it'll be very soon. The Bush Park Playground is getting replaced, one of them. So that's gonna be underway here shortly. We've got some regional athletic complex upgrades coming. Construction won't be until 2027, but we're, working on the plan now. We've got Rainier Vista Park improvements coming in, and obviously that recommendation for the McKinney Building demolition that you all approved, the recommendation to council. We still don't have a council date for that yet, but you'll be the first to know once we do, so. And that's all I have.
Sounds like you've been busy.
We've been doing stuff. For sure.
Great. Well, that's our last agenda item. So with that, I guess adjourn the meeting at 7:06.
Thank you.
You haven't had a
Thanks.
motion yet, you can't go.
We don't have to motion for that.
Oh.
I learned important things in my chair training.
You do stuff for me?